Greetings, God bless, and welcome back. So this channel is about post-traumatic growth, and what causes trauma is not only stuff that happens one-on-one, but also world events or national crises such as totalitarianism. We hear about people experiencing totalitarianism in from other countries, and there's all these books written about it, and all these tremendous obstacles people who have escaped have went through. So I do incorporate or include kind of greater picture topics that uh, play a part in trauma and uh, what people are trying to recover from, like a traumatic psychological assault. So last week, I listened to a podcast or recording of Catherine Austin Fitz talking about um, the Dr. Malone suing another doctor, a psychologist or a psychiatrist. He's like Dr. Malone, the vaccine doctor, uh, who's a whistleblower, is suing the psychologist for $25 million, and it just seems so cowardly and evil. In my opinion, and this is my opinion. This is not the opinion of YouTube. But to sue uh, somebody for $25 million saying that they slandered you, and there's greater issues at work, and nobody's like, I have not heard anything bad actually. Like nobody's saying anything bad that's slanderous. I mean, if there's anybody who has a right to slander somebody, I would say it's like President Trump. For like, and I think he's Illuminati. I think Trump is deep state. But if we are just taking things at face value, um, there's so much libel that has been targeted towards that person. And anyway, so it's just a shame, and I think it shows who Malone really worships. Because I never trust it. Like, I do not trust anybody who is pro just injection, who worked for it. I do not. When people are like, yeah, I worked in this industry for 20 years, but not this time. It's not good. I worked for 30 years in virology, which viruses have never been isolated. What like, after a few months in a job, you realize there's a lie. Like, you shouldn't be calling yourself a virologist. Uh, you shouldn't be in that industry, in my opinion, where it's like we're working with uh, phantoms, like, and people are calling these phantoms reality. Like, reality is like this is, like, we have microscopes. You should be able to see things in a microscope. I don't want to talk. I don't give me CGI. Don't give me computer data that's been manipulated, and we're calling that reality. Don't just tell me we believe it because that's what we believe. Like, where we're discovering in 2023, and just every day we're discovering everything's been built on a lie. I mean, is anything that we have been taught correct? Like, I feel like we need to start from square one. So I digress. So Catherine Austin Fitz, in her talking about Malone suing this other doctor, and she's like, that's, she thinks it's unfortunate and inappropriate, as I understand it. So let me know if I'm mistaken, Catherine Austin Fitts, if you listen to this. But she's like, it's somebody's First Amendment right, and the doctor that's being sued, Dr. Braggins, like didn't say anything that was really that harmed Malone's credibility. And I mean, the United States government, we could say, is harming Malone's credibility by, uh, you know, just defying what Malone says needs to be done. And that the fact that Malone wants to become a government official, he's part of the system. He's probably some like disinfo person. But my point is that Catherine Austin Fitts brings up Mattias Desmets' book on totalitarianism, and she was like, I couldn't get through it. Look, this is the age of audiobooks. If you can't get through the print copy, and you know what? There's like 90% of stuff I read, I couldn't get through the print copy, even if it was like fun, science fiction or whatever. I couldn't do it. So get the audiobook. Catherine Austin Fitts, like this is shame on you, because that Matthias uh, Professor Desmet's book is it's a brilliant academic, scientific, historic, um, like evaluation of the psychology of totalitarianism. And you, Catherine Austin Fitts, are doing a great disservice to your listeners and to anybody who's going to listen to your recording bashing his book, because you did. You bashed it, you laughed at it. You laughed at his notion. Now, he is not speaking in terms of religion or your framework, but his book makes a lot of really strong points. And you need to go back, Catherine Austin Fitts, and you need to listen to his book. I'm sorry, or listen to the first chapter and the last chapter, or however people who are hacking how to read a book. But you need to look at that, read some definitions that are described in the book, perhaps, if you're not going to take the time to listen to it. But um, Professor Desmet is experiencing a lot of flack for having disclosed his opinions. And the thing is, he's being very, very careful. He's not like I'm a believer in Jesus. I believe that there's a supernatural war going on, and he is not making such a direct statement because people in Europe don't believe in God. He's a professor. He's a psychology professor. So he probably can't, even if he did believe in God. I'm not sure he does, and I don't know if he believes in Jesus. But he would probably get a lot more. Like really, it would be really bad if he believed in Jesus and was a professor. You know, but his book is worth a listen, folks. And if you can't stand reading his writing, and yeah, his writing is like it's like philosophy. Or is everybody reading Nietzsche easily? Is everybody reading Dostoevsky or Franz Kafka? Everybody getting through that easy? No. Okay. Well, it's not that the book is trash, is it? Is it? No. It's just we have a poor attention span, and that's what makes me wonder about Catherine Austin Fitts. Like, isn't she some sort of like actuarial accountant, like highfalutin, deep thinker kind of a person? That Solari report, and yet you're just poo pooing this, how he's terming mass formation, because he's not calling it a psychosis for reasons. And other people have been talking about mass formation psychoses. Dr. Kelly Brogan, a medical doctor, she called it out at the very beginning. It was like, I don't know, April 2020. She was talking about Munchausen syndrome, and she talked about mass formation psychoses. I'm pretty sure that she even used that term. So yeah, I don't know what is up with you, Catherine Austin Fitts, because Matthias is like an expert an expert about the psychology of the governmental phenomenon. And okay, so he's a pithy writer, or, you know, you don't like his terminology, but you're poo-pooing it. Like, you're saying that it's wrong. And Catherine Austin Fitts, you hold a lot of sway with people. And I like you. But I am doubting you. I'm doubting you. I'm doubting your integrity because you have disparaged this expert who's made the rounds and who's written a book. Like, what is like what is so I just feel like this is like a psychological operation. I feel like there's some sort of disinformation, false information being put by you, Catherine Austin Fitts. I mean, because this person actually got a book published in 2022 or whatever. Like, that is no easy task nowadays. Like, you don't like publishers are not easy to, especially about uh, when a disclosure is being made about this coup that's occurred in the world, like this globalist coup. And the thing is, Desmond is not, he's not talking about God or Satan or globalists, which is probably how, because that's how the only way his book could get published and him to keep his job. Because people be like, "What? You're a religious guy now, or you hate the environment?" Because that's what people are going to say if you, because the globalists they're hiding behind greenwashing. They're holding humans hostage by saying it's all for the planet, it's all for the earth. The earth does not want what's happening to us. The planet, the earth, the trees, the bees, the birds, the fish, the whales do not want what has been done. They don't want the lockdowns. They don't need the lockdowns. They don't need a forever lockdown. The pollution and whatnot is like, let's, stop the globalists from putting stuff in the skies, like with chemtrails, okay? Stop the globalists from putting weird stuff in the water or in medications and whatnot. You know, uh, so, anyways, if you ever get this message, Catherine Austin Fitts, you need to listen at least to Mattias Desmets' book, at least the first and last chapter, if not the whole thing. I had to listen to it maybe 2 times, maybe 3 times for it to sink in. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's how like the Bible is. I didn't get it the first time. I didn't even get it the first 20 times. I still don't get a lot of it. Just, this guy's a deep thinker. He's a writer. He's, his stuff isn't it's not a meme. So, but you can't put it down, Catherine Austin Fitts, and you have a big responsibility for your words. And I know I speak freely, and I know some people could get upset about what I say because I'm just being extemporaneous. And I'm wondering, Catherine, if you were just speaking extemporaneously, or maybe you meant it, but this is an important book. This guy is an important guy on the world stage, and he's been getting a lot of flack. And he wouldn't be getting flack if he was full of hot air or mistaken or whatever it is that you think was a problem. Like you're like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Mass formation doesn't make sense. If you listen to the book, it makes sense, and it makes sense in a scientific, logical, cause and effect kind of a way. And it is understandable if you're just willing to take the time. And it's, Catherine Austin Fitts, I understand if you don't have time, but you can't bash the concept or his book or him if you haven't done like read it, if you haven't explored it. That's just poor form. That's bad form. Thanks for watching. God bless.